No, not the lead paint. Just the regular latex paint. Safe to lick. Probably not, don't do that.
What's the word today?
Got our extension cord for our heat gun.
Not cheap.
No, but safe. So today's project is another YouTube trick I learned for removing paint, which requires a heat gun and a scraper. So we'll see how well that works on these lovely doors.
Because like winter, the doors are coming.
The doors are coming. And at least it's cold, so the heat gun will help warm the space a little bit.
And I'm gonna get started doing some low voltage wiring. I'm gonna be running Ethernet. We're gonna try to put
some drops in.
And I'm gonna be running some cable management hooks up through the rafters so that we can pull cables later on, just kind of based on when and where we need them. So that should be nice.
This should be our Ethernet cable.
Boxception, I love it. Wow, it's on a wood spool. This is 1,000 feet of riser rated Cat 6 purple. Look at this cool thing.
So much cable.
I feel like we need to figure out something to do with it.
The cable or the spool?
The spool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The heat gun is working beautifully. I'm just gonna test the underpaint just to make sure it's not lead so it don't kill us.
I want to see.
So this is the first little strip that I did with the heat gun, and as you can see, it just peeled it away wonderfully.
Oh my
With
God.
zero effort. And because I'm OCD, I'm just gonna make sure that there's no lead underneath.
That's probably a good idea.
Because I don't want to kill us all.
I want to see it peel off.
Well, let me test it first to make sure I'm not creating toxic fumes, and then I will show you how it goes.
It is going to take a long time to do this big door though.
It is, but I think it's going to be less work than trying to scrape by hand all of the dry paint.
So it has to sit up there for a certain period of time?
Yeah, it has to sit for 2 minutes.
What color does it turn if it's bad?
It turns
Yellow?
pink if there's a little bit of lead. It turns red if there's a moderate amount of lead, and it turns purple if there's a large amount of lead.
Okay.
So far, I have not had any color change on any of the areas that I've tested. Look, it's starting to turn pink. There's lead in the paint. Glad I tested. We would have poisoned everybody in here. 20 seconds. Good thing I double checked. I mean, we do have respirators.
It's only bad if you breathe it. So if you're just going to peel it and it just falls to the ground, it's fine.
But the heat, like, vaporizes a little bit of it because it heats it up. So I've read. I don't know. Pink. We have lead, people. We have lead paint.
It's true.
Yikes.
Well, now we have to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah, respirators.
You could, or just now maybe you do want to paint over it.
Now maybe I do want to paint over it.
One of the things I was supposed to be doing was installing a plywood backboard to mount the telecommunication stuff to. And we went to the hardware store and then suddenly realized that I don't think a 4x8 sheet of plywood is gonna fit in our Mazda. And then I was like, well, we can cut it in half. And then we went and measured with the iPhones and it was very marginal. Can I repurpose these workbench tops as plywood for the telco backboard? Because they're here now, and also we don't really want the workbenches. So the question becomes, will they fit? And I'm told that this wall is metal framed, not wood framed. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if a stud finder works on metal framed walls. I've always seen people use like magnetic things to find the studs, but I did check the website and it says it works. So we'll see. Well, it seems to. And that lines up with these nails that are here too. So this wall has been done in on 16-inch centers. That's a little shorter, and this is a little shorter to fit the door in the wall.
All right, so I did some research, found on EPA that you can use a heat gun if it's less than 1100 degrees, which ours is. Even on the high setting, it goes from 750 to 1000 degrees. So I think we're safe from creating lead vapor and poisoning ourselves and our neighbors. We do still have respirators, which I'll probably use just to be extra precautious, but we're good, which is awesome because I was super stoked at how well this worked. It was so cool. So I'm happy to report I can continue on. Woo!
And for this, we need these.
Excellent. We'll have to do some dust control, or not dust, but wood paint control. Keep it all contained.
The stuff that falls.
Yeah.
Well, I don't plan on licking the floor. Although Kyle talks about how, as a German, he wants to be able to eat off the floor of the workshop.
Well, he might want to give this a minute. The cleaning restrictions are pretty intense. You can only use, at least in commercial or residential, one singular wet wipe, one stroke, and then it has to be thrown away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my first problem here is my security camera. It's in the way, so we'll take that down. We mount it on the board after. Well, that wasn't really mounted very well, was it? And that, kids, is why you should use drywall anchors. So I think what I'm going to do is line the edge of the board up here so that when I come in about an inch, that should be right in the middle of the stud. I've already checked there's no electrical in this wall, so I'm not going to hit anything. And then I just need to measure 16 inches across from my inch, so 17 from the edge, and that'll be my secondary screw position. Now normally you would set one of these plywood panels up a bit from the finished floor, but in this particular case I have all the height I need, so I'm going to rest the weight of the board on the floor. We don't really have any kind of moisture flooding problems or anything over here that would be a long-term hazard. If we did, we have a lot of other problems, so that's something that we would address right away. So I've gone ahead and gotten all the screws in. I used my laser to line it up on the premise that the studs should be perfectly vertical, and that was just the quickest way to do it.
Do we paint it? That's the question.
Oh, I think so.
You better get on it then.
I have the cancer door to strip.
Yeah, but if I don't have that, I can't finish my things.
Oh.
It's an impediment.
You want me to paint it purple real quick?
Yeah.
I'll paint it purple for you.
All right. You're the best. More than I deserve, at least. It's gonna be awesome.
Purple. Everything purple. Yeah. Oh, that's covering nicely.
I'm going to be suspending the Ethernet cable with the J-hooks, which are these things. Pretty standard actually. It's very common above drop ceilings, but there's no reason you can't use them in other settings as well. They're rounded, so if you pull cables through them, they won't snag, won't cut the insulation, and they can hold quite a few cables.
So pretty simple. Just along there. And then there's so much of this old cable stuff. I don't even know what's going on.
Our new internet cable is right up there, but so there's a bunch of old coax and stuff from God knows what. So I'm going to be cutting that out to try to clean it up. Hooks are now running all the way along the wall.
Coming in here to the backing board already.
Hasn't been too long, maybe an hour or two. It's already dry enough I can mount stuff on it. So I'm going to get started hanging a patch panel for this side.
So this will go aligned now, which will help.
Get that patch panel on there squarely. 16 inches from the ground to the bottom of the box.
Okay.
Now it's a drywall job, so the official drywall person has to make the cuts, mostly because I will screw it up. Ooh. Shine.
That looks really tedious. I think I'll stick to the painting. And
If you know me, you know I hate terminating cables. It is perhaps one of my least favorite things to do. Despite having done a fair amount of it in my career, I've just never developed an appreciation for it like some people seem to have. I feel like you should learn to do it.
That looks really tedious. You're now in your 3rd out of the 4. And I gotta be honest, it doesn't look like it's that much fun.
Oh, it's a barrel of laughs. You get to put these delicate little solid core wires into these little slots. You know, like so. You gotta get them very carefully lined up.
I think I'd rather peel cancer tape. I think I would rather peel cancer paint
And do this.
than do that.
People who are good at it are very good at it. Like, you can be fast at this. I have just never been good at it. I mean, I can do it and my cables are good, they test good. I'm just like, you know, I'm just not awesome at it. As you can see. Get in there.
Yeah, no thank you.
No?
No.
I really want you to learn to do it though.
I'm sure you do. I'll do that if you paint the doors.
Well, considering how many of these I have to do, painting the doors sounds pretty good actually.
Oh man, usually that works.
Because all I gotta do is spray paint those doors, but you have to do this for the rest of your life. Yeah, but professionals do this like they would have done. First of all, they would have had time to laugh at me, and then like take a video to post on Reddit for like cable gore, and then they would have done 10 in the time I've done this one probably. I've seen professionals do it, and it's amazing. Well, it's a start. So I got patch panel up here, going up and around to our wall box there, and working perfect. Now I will be cleaning these wires up and getting them nice. I have a lot more to run, so I'm gonna get everything run first, and then I'll take care of the slack and tie them up and that kind of thing. And then as well, I need to get some proper patch cables and some cable management so that these patch panels can make it over to the switches, but that stuff is probably gonna go into a cabinet rather than these portable cases. So I'm gonna have to wait and see exactly what's gonna be required for that. I've never used this particular brand of patch panel before. I've always used Panduit. So I bought a bunch of cable matters, which is what people sell on Amazon, cheap, easy to get. I don't love it, I'm gonna be honest. So the punch is okay, but I don't feel like they left enough room for all the cables to come out. I kind of like it when all the cables can come out in one bundle on the top. But especially with this riser cable, which is a little bit thicker, Cat 6 a little bit thicker, it's not okay. And it's amazing too, because it is Cat 6. So you just think they would have kind of thought about that. You know, even if it was maybe 3/4 of an inch more, even an inch out of the wall, everything would be really easy. But as it stands, it's gonna be crammed in there. I think I'm gonna wind up taking cables out from the side or the bottom, and I really kind of don't want to do that. But it is what it is.
Stuck my fingers in paint.
In paint?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was still wet. I went, boop.
Oh goodness.
Yes.
Not lead
What's
paint.
the word? No, not the lead paint. Just the regular latex paint. Safe to lick. Probably not. Don't do that.
Well, I got some of the wiring going. I got the modem mounted. I think that's it. It's getting late. I think that's going to be it for today.
Yep. Unfortunately, my little patch of paint removal took about 2 hours. So since we don't own this building and neither of us really want to put in the effort to fully restoring these doors, we're just going to paint them as is. Tape up the windows and go forth, my child.
To be fair, I think the painting them will be fine.
I think so.
Probably.
I mean, the yellow stayed on there pretty well and
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's chipping too terribly. So the window pane edging is really what's disintegrating and falling apart. But it'll do for the purposes we need it.
It'll do.
It'll do.
That's
pig.
it. It'll do.
It'll do.
It'll do.